Hey, it's Meagan from the Mainstage. I have Allisyn Howard here from Ava Wellness Business Consulting, and we are going to talk about how to increase your impact through speaking. There's going to be so many juicy tips, so make sure you're ready. Get ready to shine on the Mainstage, where brilliance in business meets the art of speaking excellence. I'm Meagan Fettes, your guide on this thrilling experience as we decode the power of influential speaking strategies and personal transformation, illuminating the path towards achieving your full potential as a speaker. We are here with Allisyn Howard with Ava Wellness Business Consulting.
Hi.
Allisyn, I'm so excited that you're here with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, hon.
So what inspired you to start speaking?
A lot of different things, but one of the major ones was I realized I could have the same impact on my audience that bigger speakers like Tony Robbins and DeMartini and those big behemoths had on me, that inspired me to actually take that massive action in my business and personal life as well. So I figured if they can do it, I can be as delusional as I want, and I can do it too.
Absolutely. Well, yes, and I love that because one of the biggest things that many people do in business that I believe holds them back is they focus on the one-to-one model of finding new clients versus the one-to-many.
Yep.
So since you've started speaking, what have you noticed has shifted for you in your business?
A lot of different things. So a couple of the ones that have shifted immediately after starting to speak were people started showing up at either my events or just wherever I was going, hey, I saw you talk and I really loved this about it, or I implemented this little tidbit that you gave and it's made a difference in my business. How can I work with you? Which is always the best thing to hear when you're a business consultant. But also just things where it was the recognition, but also building the authority where people understood that I knew what I'm talking about, and I know with clarity and confidence that you always talk about, where I'm able to present that message in a cohesive way and really help people on a larger scale.
Yes. You know what's so funny actually is speaking is considered to be like still the highest skill set in business. And so psychologically, when people see somebody on stage, they naturally see them as the expert in their industry. Yeah. Because fear of public speaking is so high, right? Like so many people are afraid
fear
of it.
And death are up there.
Yeah, I think it goes fear of public speaking and then death.
Yeah,
so
which is crazy.
Yeah, and so when they see you being able to stand up there and not just speak, but also share valuable content that actually leads them to something tangible, something that they can actually implement and that generates that clarity, then it really does position you at that higher level. And do you notice that since speaking, has it brought in like a higher caliber of clients for you, or what has been that biggest shift to?
Higher caliber of clients for sure, but also like I've always been a good speaker, and we've talked about this at length. I don't have a fear of public speaking. I'm one of the crazy ones, and I get that. But for me, it was, oh, that's nice, kind of accolades of, oh, that was a nice presentation, or wow, I can't believe that you can stand up there. But now since I've been speaking and I have a talk that converts and a talk that explains where I'm coming from and why I'm coming from that place, people are actually, my ideal clients are seeking me out instead of just going, oh, I need help with this or I need help with this, and not being totally who my ideal client is, because my people are wellness services and personal services, and they operate in a much different field of business than a lot of traditional business does. And I was speaking so broadly before that I was missing them. Now that it's so much more clear, they're like, hey, I know you can help me. I know that this can actually make a difference for my business because you're speaking my language, which was huge.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
And one of the other things that you may have noticed, but I would love you to speak on this a little bit, is because the way that you structure your talk and you build that rapport and that connection and you really allow yourself to be seen and to be vulnerable, that know, like, and trust factor is hit a lot faster.
Yeah.
And so that like personal connection, which is like usually such a big piece of jumping from like lead to potential client to actually generating results.
And that time frame is so much longer traditionally versus with speaking.
Yes.
With speaking, people, because of how we've imbued my personal story into my talk and why I care about what I do so much, that time frame has gone from being super long to now I can convert them in 15 minutes. Like the amount of people that I can have more of an impact on without having to spend hours and hours and hours makes a huge difference.
Yes. Well, and that's one of the biggest things, right? Is because you are building that personal connection right there on that stage.
Yep.
Right? Like, and the more that you share your story, and I love how you share your story because you are speaking to that wellness entrepreneur.
Yep.
And you bring a very deep clarity as to like one of the biggest challenges that they're missing the mark on, both from a standpoint of a client, but also from the standpoint of a business owner yourself.
Yep.
So do you mind maybe sharing your story a little bit here?
Sure. So for me, I've been in the wellness industry for 15 years professionally, which considering I'm only in my 30s, that's a big deal. But I also have Lyme disease. But I was only diagnosed with Lyme disease last year. And I've had it now for almost 14 years. And I went to specialists after specialists and people that were like, I can help you, because they saw me as a challenge, and that's fun. Like when you get a challenging client because you know that you can help. But if you are only helping kind of everybody, and you're going, I can help anybody with any sort of challenge, when somebody like me comes in where it's an actual challenge and they don't know what to do with me, well, I get discouraged. I don't really want to refer. I get disillusioned with my industry. And on the flip side, from the practitioner, they're not seeing the results for their client, which they got into this industry to help people. And now I'm this like beacon of, I can't help everybody. So for me, my message for a lot of my clients and what I go into is, you need to be able to niche down to find your proper and your ideal dream clients. So that way you find the people that it's like a light bulb moment of, I know I can help you and here's the demonstrations of why. But then your client is like, oh my God, you've been able to help me. I'm going to send everybody to you, because that's what also happens in this industry.
Absolutely. And it creates like that win-win energy, right? And I know for myself, I do what I do because of the results of my clients. Like that's what lights me up. That's what brings me the energy and the continuous passion to keep moving forward. And I'm sure that's the same for so many entrepreneurs, right?
Oh,
like
exactly.
It's exhausting when we're not seeing those results.
Yeah.
And so.
And I take it from like this big brand, like I use Victoria's Secret as a good case study, because they did this exact same thing where they niched down so much, where they found their exact person. And when they started making decisions based off of either money or larger conversations, and they went away from their values, their sales plummeted. Right? And we do the same thing on a smaller level when we go against our values. So teaching my clients how to do that makes a huge difference. And then being able to say that on stage in front of a couple hundred people and actually have them go, oh my God, I've been doing that. I can change that. And now I can actually have a business that lights me up instead of feeling draining.
Yes. And like I talk about this often in my own business, like how clear you have to be, because really and truly what we want to create in that connection with our audience or with our clients is, I call it the, how the bleep did she get into my head? Like you want to be so crystal clear that you know the thoughts that they're thinking, you know the feelings that they're experiencing, the past attempts that they've used to try and solve this challenge. Like you want to know them so well and to actually take the time to get to know them.
Well, and when you're able to do that from stage, now you're not just making the impact with one person, you're making it with hundreds.
Yes.
And when you're sitting, it was really fun for me when I sat in front of everybody, or stood in front of everybody after, spilling a mocktail on stage. And that was a whole thing. First of all, anybody wanting to get into speaking and you think you're going to screw up, it's fine. Nobody actually remembers. which is hilarious to me. But when you get up there and you know your stuff and you know that you can make this impact, you can stand in front of everybody and do this big presentation and feel confident, and people that are your person sit in the audience and go, how did she, okay, I need to work with her, or she's going to make the biggest impact, or whatever, which makes a huge difference for both my business and theirs.
Yes, that impact is key.
It really is.
I love this. And I feel like we could keep going on so many different levels.
We have.
But for right now, I want to know, how can people get in touch with you?
Best way to get in touch with me is going to avawellness.ca. It's my website. There is lots of really great forms on there, as well as there's going to be some tips and tricks to actually help make an impact by utilizing your values to be able to sell more.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Allisyn.
You're very welcome, Megan.
I have loved our conversation.
Me too.
It's time to wrap up our session of the Mainstage. I'm Meagan Fettes, reminding you to stay committed to your growth and development. Let the insights gained here fuel your drive for success on the stage. Here's to your success, impacting millions and monetizing your message from the stage.